This episode of Casual Friday is brought to you by Carbonite. If you
Build
can
up their immune
inoculate the
system.
next generation against the nerd flu,
Oh, there you go.
maybe we won't have to worry about the nerd flu ever again.
That is actually the smartest thing I've heard.
So this is, you guys have all been at PAX for multiple years now.
Yeah.
And you've all been showing off stuff for a while now. What is it like being standing at the booth and just showing off your game all day long? Because you do 20-minute bits of your game to 1 billion people every day.
Who wants to hit that one first?
Roughly a billion.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Is it?
No, it's for me. It's awesome, and the other guys from Firaxis that come out to represent. It's just, this is going to sound cliche, but it is really fulfilling because you put in so much time to try to bring something to life that you're passionate about for 3, 4, 5 years, and you have valleys of despair where you're terrified that it's going to be terrible. And then to see fans excited and the look on their face, it really is humbling and satisfying. So it's super cool to see that.
And I feel like PAX has got to be nice too, because you know that it's the end player, right? It's actually the
that's
person
right.
who's excited about
It's our people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is our people. And that's so we've been showing Time Force at 4 straight PAXs, right? We showed it after 30 days of work, pretty much.
Wow.
Right away, we're just okay, let's just see what happens. And it's, it has this amazing impact of the game being shaped by the people who are going to play it in the end anyways. You know that the people who are here because they love game culture, and if they love game culture, then they play your stuff, and they don't like it, if something feels wrong, they'll tell you it feels wrong, and they'll tell you why it feels wrong. And we've actually we've changed the game drastically every time, not just because of PAX feedback, but that enforces what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong. And this is the first time we showed the game with features locked, this is the game, and now we're I hope that they get it, and we put it in front of them, and you try not to walk them through it, you try to just let them play and see how they take it, and it's it really is an amazing thing to be able to ask your fans or your community or your people to be hey guys, what do you think? Test this out for us.
Yeah.
Is it a little more relaxed too? Because I guess at E3, you have a bunch of people like me, and all we're trying to do is get stuff out of you you're not ready to give up, and really just just kind of yank little bits out of your game and kind of tear it apart a little bit. This has got to be, and we do it out of love, guys. We love you, but I feel this is just kind of more enthusiastic, right?
Oh yeah, at E3, at least for us, there was a lot of people being how are you going to monetize this? And we're just go away. It's great that you come over and see the game and stuff, but it's not the kind of feedback we want to hear now.
So he's an octopus and a dad, yeah.
Can we
Who are you
change
using
that
for
up?
middleware?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we do this thing.
Right. But then you come here at PAX, and it's awesome because otherwise we're sitting in our office, which is an apartment dining room, for months at a time, and then coming here and seeing people really enjoy what you do, hopefully, is pretty amazing. And we also sit there with notebooks or our phones or whatever, and we're taking notes and talking to people and trying to get out of them what they really want to see in the game, because it's more, I feel about what they're looking to do rather than just how they feel about what you've already created with us, because we've been showing the same 2 levels for 3 PAXs now, but they've changed drastically in their structure and just little things that make the world of difference, even in just the menu system, getting from people from just having the controller in their hands to playing the game as fast as possible and in the least confusing way as possible, because this is our first commercial game.
Yeah.
I feel you guys have such a fantastic PAX game too, because it's so immediately surprising.
Right. We put a big TV up, and then we immediately have people oh, what's that? And they peek around the corner, and they all just come out of the cracks and run over.
We've got the
really
best
cool.
elevator pitch, I think, in the history of video games.
I will agree with that statement.
It works pretty well, because I think people just haven't really seen much of anything like it. It's also fun just describing the controls and things like that to people, because they're just perplexed. They're just this can't be real. What is this? So I don't know. We really enjoy it. It's tiring, standing for 10 hours a day, but we love running our own booth because we want to talk to these people. We want to know how they feel about what we're making.
Yeah, and that's a big difference too, right? Is when you guys come into the mega booth, you set up everything on your own. You've decided on your own what you're going to show, how you're going to show it. I feel like your prep is probably very, very different, right?
I was telling Nathan beforehand, I did walk through the Indie Mega booth, and it's a completely different feel, but it is so invigorating. There's not that sheen and polish on it that you may get from a publisher, which is great. Obviously, I mean, we love the support we get from our publisher, but there's a rawness to it and that direct connection with the fans, and bringing a build that's only 30 days in development. I could never do that. Are you kidding? Like, we need a very polished demo.
Yeah.
But to be that real with the fans, I think is super appropriate in the Indie Mega booth as well, to say, hey, this is the state of the game. Tell us what you like, and let's get some real feedback.
I think that's super interesting thing about, where we are in video games right now is that, like, it's no longer okay for some very unfamiliar PR spokesperson to be the one talking to fans at PAX.
Right.
Like, you have to talk to the fans at
Right,
PAX.
right.
And that, like, even though there is, like, beautiful walls of wonderful art and branded headsets and all this kind of stuff, it still doesn't remove the fact that, like, there is no way that you survive at PAX unless you are the one speaking to the fans, unless, like, whether it's XCOM or whether it's, like, Necrodancer,
right?
And, like, you couldn't find two more disparate games, but at the same time, they have to be discussed almost in the same way.
What's interesting is, like, so you showed off the same few levels for a couple years. You've shown off, like, the evolution of these levels for a couple years, and you guys are obviously showing off the stuff that you're able to get done, right? Like, that's what you're showing off. When you go in to show off something, or you decide, okay, we're going to PAX, what kind of decision goes on behind closed doors? Who's deciding what gets shown and how it gets presented and that kind of stuff? I feel like your work is a little more, like, top heavy than theirs. You know what I mean?
It is. I mean, they say in the industry, demos can sidetrack production big time. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because they can also help drive and prioritize production as well. I mean, we now are planning for these things well ahead of time. The team, the Enemy Within team, the expansion team did a brilliant job up front because they said, okay, we know PAX is a year from now, we know E3 so-and-so. We don't know exactly what that demo is going to be, but we are going to budget this amount of time to focus on it. So we have this stuff carved out well ahead of time, and then it's prioritized to discuss and figure out what the exact demo is going to be well in advance. I wish we could just give the state of the build, but there's a lot of challenges in that.
Well, I feel like
We do that now. Big time. Like, there's massive amount of content in Super Time Horse that we've never shown because some of it you got to put your best foot forward, but you also have to decide, like, there needs to be some surprise for the players.
And you have to have context around everything, and if they just walk into something that's completely awesome but also is way into the game or whatever and they don't get it, then it doesn't matter.
I think the art of the demo is one of the hardest arts in game development.
Do you guys ever just, like, do you ever get to the point where you're just like, nah, fuck it, I want to show it? Like, let's just why can't I just show it right now? Yeah, like, let's just turn it on. Like, let's just see. Like, because don't you, after 4 days, especially like in a guided sort of thing, you have to be like, no, I can't do this one more time. I can't show a guy how to do this one more time. I want to show this cool thing that we're working on. Like, how does that feel?
I do think that a big part of demoing to people is not having to do too much, right? Like, the game has to be able to, like, you have to let people just play. And sometimes you want to help them out, or sometimes you want to, like, show them or remind them of cool features that they might not have found on their own because they're playing a certain way. But for the most part, like, we sat there a while back saying, okay, like, you spent a bunch of time on this, like, really crazy tutorial level at the beginning of the game that teaches everyone how to play it, and we were just like, we're not going to include that. We're just going to hand them a controller and see what happens, and let them try it, and if they can learn it, then that means that the tutorial will make it easier or better, or we can find those points where people are super confused and try to iron that out. So
there's got to be some value too in, like, as press, I'm kind of, like, inundated, demos, trailers, like, all this. Like, I constantly know what everybody's up to, but I feel like you guys have to be so head down all the time on your own thing. Do you get time to, like, walk around and check out other people's stuff? Like, is that valuable to you, or are you kind of locked in?
It is. I mean, I like to go check out new stuff, and that's great. I think I've maybe played 1 or 2 other games though.
Yeah.
It's been like, and it's like 5 minutes at a time maybe, because we've got 3 people here right now from the studio, but we're all at the booth at one point or another. I mean, I don't know. We thought about bringing people in even to like volunteer or something, but then I feel really this weird feeling of like I'm not there showing it off and it's our baby and like that sort of thing.
I mean, you guys are getting bigger too. Is that? Have you ever thought about that too, where it's just like maybe there will be somebody who's just running a demo at a Cappy booth at some point?
We were lucky to have some volunteers this year just to help us out and make sure that we had enough people around just in case to like deal with merch stuff and so on. Like I organize PAX by myself pretty much, like everything from booth to merch to like, because that's like everybody else at the studio's heads down trying to final the game, so there's not a lot of extra people around to do it. I would love for someone to do it all for me. That would be, you guys, anybody looking for that role? No, it's, but at the same time, like, I think one of the biggest strengths and simultaneously worst weaknesses of independent development is that we have like the most giant fear of letting go. Of fear of missing out. Like, I can, like, this is my thing. You know, Cappy is a group of 22 people. This is ours, and we don't want any other hands on it. That's why we do all of our trailers in house, because we're just like, man, these guys are gonna like these guys. I don't know. Like, even though there's like amazing people who do trailers or amazing people who do booth setup and stuff, it's hard. It's extremely hard. I mean, we're 8 years into the studio, and we still have like fear of letting go, and it is an amazing strength because it means that it's all like we control it. But it's also like, maybe I should not be like trying to figure out how many of which size.
Maybe I don't need to be the guy who buys the HDMI splitter.
You should be like, killing yourself to find out what kind of furniture layout you're gonna have.
Do we do padding under?
Right.
Or do we skip the padding?
So like, do approvals and sketches and stuff kind of come through you guys when like 2K is building an XCOM booth, or do you kind of show up and you go, whoa, there's an XCOM booth?
Yeah, I have. They actually built something completely different. I came in and I said, rebuild this shit. I do not like what we put together.
Do you know who I am?
No, we actually don't. I mean, they're brilliant. Those guys are experts in that sort of stuff, and we're not. So.
I both fear but also look forward to the day that I can kind of pass that off to somebody else that I trust. You know?
I've been organizing PAX for many a year, and I'm pretty much ready to hire whoever you want.
Where does PAX rank for you guys in terms of these conventions and these shows?
It's got to be number one for. I mean, it's because of that genuine feeling and connection with the fans. I mean, it is better than any other show. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I totally agree. See, like, E3's all glitz and glamour. GDC is like summer camp. And PAX is the PAXs are the only time that we get an opportunity to like just hang out with people who love video games. Who are the people who make what we do worthwhile. So like, if it was like, I mean, I would have loved to have done PAX Australia if it wasn't across the globe.
Right. It wasn't a 24-hour flight.
Yeah, I'd love for them to do this like 4 times a year. I'd be tired, and I'd probably get the PAX flu another 2 times. But like, it's just like you said about the Indie Mega Booth, and I think part of the reason why PAX is so special is because like you can't help but get super hyped about what you do.
That's right.
Whereas, I mean, like, whereas when you're by yourself or you're working and your head's down, and sometimes there's times where you get a little bit cynical about what you're doing, and then you come here and you're like, doing video games. And this is like black magic to most people, and they're super excited about it, and now I am too, because I'm back in this feeling, this vibe.
Yeah. And I think PAX has done an extremely good job of like creating some kind of like idea that even though you're going to PAX by yourself or with your friends, that there's like a community around video games and video game culture. It's not just about like what's new and what T-shirt am I going to buy and who's going to give me free stuff. Even though everybody loves all that stuff, but it really, like, we get a lot of people who are like, man, I've been like, I played X game and Y game, and I played this at every PAX, and we're like, so you went to all the PAX Seattles and all of the PAX Bostons? They're like, yeah, that's
Australia.
That's
crazy.
Oh yeah, I talked to someone from Boston who went to Australia for PAX.
Wow.
Like, it's a really special thing, and I definitely think that consumer-facing stuff, which is the like official term, I guess. But like
Yeah.
the thing where it's just like the random people who love the stuff that we love, there's nothing else like
It's
that.
invigorating. It
Yeah.
lets you. It reminds you that it's not like this thing that you're doing for a job. It's this
Right.
thing that you're doing for a job because you love it.
Right.
And you want to be around other people that love it.
Yeah.
As much
Awesome,
as
and
you
it-
do.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for us too to connect face to face for the first time with people that you know love the game. That might, I guess it can be borderline creepy sometimes, but there are amazing people that sleep, eat, and breathe what you've made, and they end up knowing the game better than you do.
Oh, yeah.
So to finally meet them, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all dorks here. We get so passionate about the work that we do, and then to see somebody else that loves it as well. We had a guy for XCOM that beat the game on Impossible Iron Man, which I thought was impossible. I don't know if you've tried that.
Wow.
But it's ridiculous. It's completely.
I'm extremely
the
bad
guy
at your
enjoys
game. Garth.
punishment.
I'm like
I remember
really,
you
really,
are.
yeah, I'm really bad
You
at
are.
your game.
But he beat Impossible Iron Man. He bought like 5 SKUs. He bought it for like every single platform.
What?
Just because he wanted the badge and the special edition. So to finally be able to meet this guy and be able to reward him and honor him is really cool. You know, we were able to give him really cool stuff, honor him at the panel, and
That's
it's cool.
amazing.
It's really cool to be able to give back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the same people come back all the time and knowing them is really cool, and being able to give them like a glimpse into to how it's made and stuff like that. We're having them, like I said before, like we've changed little things from here to here, and here to there, and having people come back and like notice them and point them out and be like, oh, did you guys change that? Like at the beginning
I
of.
think I did. You might be
Oh
right.
yeah, exactly. I'm even like
Been so long, I don't.
Right.
like someone notices that at the beginning of our demo, Octodad at one point was wearing a suit jacket because we just hadn't made him with a normal like button down.
Yeah.
And then we changed it at some point, and then someone was like, "Didn't he have a different suit jacket on before?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, you know, he goes and puts it on before." And
Like
later,
pushes
and
up
he's
his
like,
glasses. He's telling you about
Yeah,
Octodad
exactly.
Cannon.
And I'm like, "What is going on? This is awesome."
Hey, if you like Casual Friday and you want to support the show and my croissant habit, why not try Carbonite? Carbonite protects your data from crash, fire, theft, or accidental deletion by automatically and continually backing up your files securely off-site. Whether you need it to support 1 or 2 home computers or all the computers at your small business, Carbonite is the better backup plan. Their plans start at just $59 a year, but you can get a free trial by heading to carbonite.com and entering the offer code CASUAL. You'll get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. Remember, that's carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is CASUAL.